Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about the main method and also we're going to discuss about the println method. Okay. So we'll take a sample program. Okay. So as we said in the earlier videos, so in Java you will see classes, interfaces, methods, and yeah, etc. So Java is object-oriented language. So everything will be wrapped under classes. Okay, so I have created a class called demo. Name of the class is demo, and I have created two variables, string variables there. Okay, and one of them is non-static variable and the other one is a static variable. Okay, so regarding the static and non-static member we are going to discuss in detail in later videos, but for now time being I just want to give a little idea on this. Okay, so if you see this program, so there are two variables, string and var. So string is of it's a non-static variable and var is a static variable. Okay, and also have created one static method, another one is a non-static method. Okay, what this method is doing, it's just printing some string and the other one is also printing some string. Yeah, basically this method is printing the grade. I'm just keeping the this method very simple just for the understanding purpose. Okay, okay, and even this method if you see it is just printing the aggregate marks. Okay, I'm not performing any operation, just for sake of the concept I have taken this method so that you people will get introduced to this static and non-static methods or variables. Okay, yeah, so our focus will be on the main method and the print or println method. Okay, so we should understand these are the basic methods, so we should know about this. Okay, so in Java we have a main method and the signature of this method goes in this way. Okay, public static void main and the argument should be of type string array. Okay, or variable arguments of type string. Okay, this is also valid. Okay, var args. So what is a variable argument we can discuss in the later videos, but yeah, for now we are our focus to know about the main method and the print or println method. Okay, so if you see here, so I have written this class. Okay, and I have saved the file. So as soon as I save the file, I mean it's not about saving the file, but every time automatically the ID will take care of compiling the code whenever there is some change in the file. Okay, so now you don't see any compilation errors here, so the class got compiled fine and we to run this. To run this we need JVM. Okay, so javac compiler actually take care of compiling the Java classes, and once that those classes got compiled you will get the bytecode dot class file. Okay, and that dot class file will be the input to the JVM and JVM will take care of running this dot class file. Okay, yeah, so this file this class got compiled and now we are going to run this class. Okay, so I'm just passing some argument here. I'm just saying engineer. Okay, and I'm running this okay, the class got modified, so yeah, so the program got executed and what it is printing, it is hi engineer from CSC. Okay, so what is the flow actually? So we didn't call this method, right? Then who called this method? nowhere we have called main method, right? We just defined all the methods here. If you see, this is one method, this is one method, there are two variables, and we have a main method. This is not something like the user defined method, okay? And if you see, this is defined by us, right? So these are the user defined methods. So this is a method with the predefined signature, method signature. uh, so this method, main method, will be called by JVM. So whenever you run a class, what will happen is your JVM will check whether the class contains a main method. If it has a main method, it will execute that main method automatically, and it will execute the content within that. Okay, so in our case, when we ran the program by passing some argument, if you see there, we have passed some program argument, right? We have passed some string called engineer, and then later what happened, the assignment happened, right? This string got this is the local variable. Okay, I'll tell you what it is, the next, what is the local variable later, after some discussion. Okay, so within this main method there is a variable string department whose literal is this. Okay, so once this method is called, this will the memory will get allocated to this variable, and we have this literal in handy. And now we are printing. Okay, what we are printing, so to print on the console in Java, we use this system.out.println, and print that, like I'll tell you, like later we can have the discussion. Yeah, so just think that we are printing some variable here. So some variable we are this is the variable we are printing. We're saying hi, and later we're concatenating. After that hi, we also need something else. So we are taking the argument, right? So in the while running this program, what we passed as engineer, right? In the program argument we pass as engineer. So what is that argument? That argument is nothing but, say in Eclipse, those are the program arguments, are nothing but the command line arguments. Okay, so you pass, so this argument, this command line will be running, this command prompt will be running on the top of operating system. So anything in the operating system environment, if that is returning some value, it will be of type string array. It will be of type string, but in our case, we pass this as one string, so it is, we are printing that as arrow of 0, but we can also pass array of values, okay, from the command prompt or from the program arguments. Okay, so as we have passed only one value, we are printing our the arrow of 0. Okay, so it will be hi engineer, and we are concatenating another string, nothing but this one. Okay, so and hence we got this output because we are printing it on the console. Okay, yeah, so this is what, so main method will be called by JVM. We are not calling that main method explicitly. Okay, JVM will take care of calling the main method. Okay, so the signature is fixed, and if you are removing something here, if you are removing the access specifier, this is access specifier, this is access modifier, this will actually define the scope. Okay, this will qualify the method, and this is the return type. So the signature goes in this way. It has so the main method can be accessed from anywhere. Okay, and it can be called without creating object using the class name. Static is nothing but, yeah, we will have the detailed discussion later, but yeah, so when you have our static method, so you can call that method with the class name. Our class is demo. Okay, so yeah, so that is one thing, and this is return type. So main method doesn't return anything. Okay, and main method takes the argument as string array or variable string array. Okay, so if you are making any changes to this main method, just suppose I'm just updating the name of the method main1. Will this be called? No, this won't be called. If you execute it again, you'll get to know. Okay, what argument we have passed? Again, we are saying engineer. I'm saying okay. Okay, I'm not saying engineer. Maybe I can just have 34. Okay, so I'm just passing substring. And if you see now, yeah, now the error is thrown. What is saying? See here, main method not found in the class demo. Okay, so you have a method called main one, but it is not a main method. This is not the the method should be, the method signature should not change. Okay, so, that's the reason your JVM is not able to recognize whether you have a main method in your class or not. Okay, so this is what, this is a standard method which we should know. Okay, and even the arguments, everything we should know. This is also a good interview question. Probably some interviews will be interested in asking this question, right? They'll ask you what is main method in Java, and what is the access specifier, why the access specifier is public, why it is static, what is the type of the main method, and what argument it takes. You should be able to answer this. Okay, yeah. And coming to the next thing, method is print method. Okay, so in Java we'll see a lot many places where we'll be printing some value on the console. Most of the time it will be used for debugging purpose. Actually, it is not a proper way of debugging, but yeah, sometimes we'll rely on this. Okay, so what this is, what this method call looks like, I'll tell you. So this println or print method, it is a method. This should be called, this is a method in print stream class. I'll tell you. One second. Yeah, so I'll tell you. So this is a println method, or we can also write print method. So what is the difference between print and println? Print, it will just print it. Println will print and go to the next line, so it's a new line. Okay, that's the difference. So this println or print method are the two methods there in the print stream class. Okay, so that print stream class object is out is created in system class. Okay, okay, so this object is of type static. Okay, that's the reason the method call goes in this way, system.out.println. That, as I said, when we are defining a method or a variable as static, we can call those variable or methods using the class name. Okay, and this class contains the out variable which is static. That's the reason we are calling this variable as system.out with the class name. And within this and this out variable is of type print stream, and under that print stream you have println method. So this is what the method call looks like, system.out.println. First you are calling the print stream object which is there in the system class, and now you got the print stream object, you are calling the println method which is there in the print stream class. Okay, so this is how you should answer if somebody asks you about the println method or print method. And in the print stream class, all these println or print methods are overloaded. Okay, what is overloading or overriding? We'll get to know about this in a broader way in the upcoming videos. Okay, so I have covered two important topics, which is small but we should know, and also sometimes you'll face this question during interviews. Okay, yeah, coming to the next topic, we should know about what is a static and a non-static variable, and what is a static and non-static method. I'm not explaining about static and non-static members, but you should know, looking at the variables and method, you should get to know. So if you see here, right, I have defined a non-static variable. If you see here, str is a non-static variable. Okay, and var is a static variable. Okay, because there is a qualifier, or there is a modifier static, it's a keyword. Okay, I can't say the static one because it's a keyword, right? Yeah, so we are so that's what this is one of the keyword. So these are the modifiers, so which will qualify this variable. It is saying that this is not a normal variable or a non-static variable, this is a static variable. So we can call this variable using class name. Yeah, and yeah, we can discuss this more broader way and the next coming in the next coming videos. But yeah, you should know, looking at the variables or method, you should get to know at least some idea that this is a static or an non-static method. So here it is non-static, it's a static variable, sorry. And coming to the methods, if you see here, you have a qualifier, static, return type, and method. Okay, so this is the user defined method which is declared as static, and if you see here, it's a non-static method. Okay, yeah, so this is how the static and non-static members look like. So if you see here, static variable or a non-static variable are the class level variables. Okay, I'll tell you, you will get the more information later, but just remember some words. Okay, these are the class members, class level variables. If you see here, this variable, is this a static variable or a non-static variable? No, this is not defined at the class level. If you see at this class level, if you see this method at the same level, this variable at the same level, this variable is also the same level, this method is also same level. So if you see these variable, right, which is at the class level, are called as static variable or non-static variable, depending on the access modifier so we have provided in this string in this variable, right? So it's a static variable. Yeah, so these are the class level variable. Okay, and these are this one is the local variable. So the scope of this local variable will be there. This variable will be alive until this block execution get complete. So once the memory allocation will be done, once the block got executed, and it will be what do you call it? It will be dead, or the memory is deallocated once the block got executed. So within the block can be a main method or can be a static or non-static block. Okay, so in these three areas, wherever you see a block or a constructor, there also you'll see a block. This is nothing but a block, right? This is a block, and even in the static and non-static block also you'll see some block, and even in the constructor you will see some block. So wherever in the block, if you see some variable, those variables and even the method arguments will be a local variable. Remember this carefully. This is also a local variable to this method. So until this method, once the method execution starts, then this variables get the memory get allocated, and even for this, and once the method execution completes, then the memory deallocation happens, and there won't be any such variable, okay, in the stack area. So that's what the local variable is, and you should not confuse whether it is what is a local variable or what is a class level variable. So that we should have the proper idea. Okay, yeah, and we'll discuss how to access this variable and methods to classes and objects. We'll discuss that in the later video. For now, please get familiar with this. Okay, yeah, so that's all about this video. We'll meet you in the next. Thank you.